Welcome to NorCal Sports Network, and we're joined by Cody from Even Year Dynasty Show. Welcome, Cody. And Eric, as always, what a difference of 24 hours can make. You go from your worst loss of the season to probably your best win of the season. The Giants come back from a 5-0 deficit after another clanker by Blake Snell, who I predicted last night on this show he would not go more than 4 innings and likely less than 4. I said he will go between 3 and 4. He went 3 1/3. He went 87 pitches, walked 4, struck out 5, gave up 4 runs. We'll get into Blake Snell. We'll get into the negative, but let's get into the positive first. Okay, the positives tonight. 5 offensive stars for the Giants, led by Lamont Wade, who went 3 for 3 with 3 walks, 6 for 6 on base tonight. So he raises his league-leading on-base percentage to .484. Woo. That is just like unbelievable. That's
like Ted Williams, man. That's Ted Williams. We're watching Ted Williams, man.
.484. And you know what? We'll have to play Lamont interview maybe. He's growing out the beard because when I interviewed him last year, if he gets on base, he's superstitious and he will not change his socks. He doesn't wash his socks and everything else you can imagine.
I'll get it queued up for us here.
And he does not shave. And he'll just keep doing that. So
he said he wants his beard to look like John Brebbia.
I asked him, I says, you want it to look like, you mean if you get hot, we can have a Brebbia beard? And he says, that's the goal. So let's hope Lamont Wade continues to get on base and that beard is down to his ankles by the end of the season. So Lamont Wade, star number 1, star number 2. And I mean, I don't know if it's Matt Bailey or Matt Chapman. Chapman hit the big bomb, only 1 hit, but a 2-run homer. And then Bailey goes 3 for 5 and takes an extra base on it. Gets the
That was awesome.
Daring play, down 5, and he made it though. And then he got the run in with the next hit. And not only does Bailey have a hit, and then it's Soler goes 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. One of the RBIs was that little tapper that Bart slipped on his foot. Otherwise, he was going to touch home plate, and the Giants probably wouldn't have scored and maybe lost the game. But thanks to Bart's little slip. And then we've got on the offense, Luis Matos, 2 for 6, his last 2 at-bats in the 9th and 10th inning. The 9th inning was a huge hit, maybe the biggest play of the game. He gets the base hit.
Season bobble ball. Yep.
Bobbles the ball, little error out there, and Matos takes advantage of it and dives into second. And then Wade, of course, comes in, knocks him in. Huge. So those 5 guys offensively were the stars tonight. And then defensively, what can you say about Matt Chapman tonight? Unbelievable.
You know
Absolutely unbelievable. The last play of the game was possible game saver. That was a 2-run double. That was a 2-run double. Mm-hmm. And Bart is the tying run, or the tying run is coming to the plate. In the that would have been coming to the plate would have been Trujillo, who's got some power. You never know. So I've been on Matt Chapman offensively. I've said his defense is stellar. I'm not going to knock his defense. But offensively, he's coming around. He's hot. He's in that 1 to 2 week hot stretch I predicted he would go on this year. Don't expect it to last, but enjoy it while it's there because he looks good. And he helped the Giants win tonight. Tomorrow, You're probably fortunate you won tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So guys, give it a take on the game tonight.
You're missing one guy, a key guy who stopped the hemorrhaging.
Oh, the bullpen I forgot to mention was
Randy Rodriguez, 2 innings pitched.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
Strikeouts. This guy is a closer in the making, no doubt about it.
I forgot to do the offense. I mean, I did the offense. That was
huge.
I put that out in Twitter tonight that the bullpen was huge tonight. Randy Rodriguez is carving himself a late inning role now.
He's an 8th inning guy right now, right?
Yesterday they had him loosened up in the 8th. Taylor Rogers came in. So I thought, hey, maybe they'll have Randy come in for the 9th and then they chuck Puke Jackson out there. And I think Randy just showed today that he should have been the guy yesterday.
What'd you call him?
Puke Jackson.
Puke Jackson. That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good.
So
no doubt about it. He's solidified to put him out there in a high leverage, right?
Yeah.
27 pitches, 22 strikes. A little different than a guy by the name of
Blake Snell.
Aroldis Chapman, who threw 14 pitches and two strikes. Dos for Aroldis Chapman. 2 strikes. I was
bad.
like,
he screwed it for them, man.
I mean, the 3-batter minimum saved the Giants tonight, because if I'm managing that club after the second walk, he's gone. He's gone.
I don't know why they brought in Holderbeck for a second inning. He hasn't done that
because
since like
their bullpen is thin. They're shot. They didn't have Bednar.
How did they not have Bednar? They had a day off on Monday
because he's pitched 4 out of 5 games. You can't wear him out.
Fair enough.
Hold on. One of the dogs is
go for it.
Here.
But what do you think, Cody? I mean, Randy Rodriguez, is that guy's slider better than Duvall's? I think so. That slider's nasty.
I
like where he throws that fastball right at your knees. I love it.
His fastball has so much ride too because of the arm angle, and especially when he goes up in the zone. I mean, it's almost unhittable. And then he'll paint you on the knees. I mean, it's his motion.
He gets really low. You notice that?
Yeah.
He's high on the mound, but then when he's delivering it, he gets you know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit. It's not Tin Lincecum, but it's Tin Lincecum like, and how deep he gets when he gets into that mound. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We got some stuff going on in the chat about the young guys and Farhan. Mark Graves says Farhan gets no credit. These young guys are only here because of injuries, not because Farhan saw something in these guys.
But he did Randy Rodriguez, who signed him? Was that Farhan? Or was that previous regime?
That was Bobby.
I'd
have to spot check that.
Yeah, check that out if you could, Cody.
Check that out. Yeah, I was going to lead tonight with, but the game flipped. I was going to lead with the in the opening, put up the trade for Andrew McCutchen for
Brian
Reynolds with the grand slam. And then I was going to say, and they've got McCutchen now too. So that trade really turned out. But,
didn't work out too well.
But the Giants
2017 free agent.
Well, there you go. Bobby got Doval. Bobby got Randy Rodriguez. Who else did Bobby get? Matos.
Luciano.
Hey, Bobby didn't do too bad out there, huh, guys? What do you think? All that dirt against Bobby of how horrible. Don't get me wrong. He had his mistakes. Everybody does. But he's done some pretty good work in the draft. How about that?
Yeah. I would give Farhan like a slight ounce of credit if he actually makes the moves to clear the way for these guys when people come back. If he follows it up by doing that, then I will give him some credit that he at least went against his normal patterns and his normal MO and
good point.
Let them play. But right now, until
the best thing the Giants can do is when Conforto comes back, which is what, likely in the end of this trip, it looks like, or is that what they're saying?
I guess
sometime in New York, possibly, or next week. I mean, he's in the dugout, so
I'd imagine he wants to get back for New York.
I imagine he's coming back on this trip because if you're not going to come back on the trip, you don't get in uniform, get in the dugout on a road trip. You stay home and rehab. So he's likely to come. I saw Slater in the dugout last night. So I don't know what his deal is. He should be off the concussion list. Don't know what's happening.
Yes,
so
I did. We'll talk about that later.
I think the smart move to me is when Conforto comes back and Slater, is you send McKenna down or DFA of him if he has no options. You just, move off of him, and you probably move Wisely down. Yeah. But then you don't have a backup shortstop.
Nope.
Which is kind of scary.
Because
I guess you can use Estrada and you can use Wilmer at second somehow, or
I don't know if I would do that. Man.
It does. It makes our defense worse everywhere.
Makes them pretty thin. So, but what I want to see happen is keep Ramos in right field and just make Yaz the fourth outfielder, and he comes up maybe if it's a tough right-hander that Ramos is facing later, sixth inning on, and it's a key situation, and you want to pinch hit for Ramos at that point, go ahead and then put Yaz out in right field. But I don't think they'll do that. I just get the feeling they will platoon Ramos and Yaz, and who gets the benefit of the doubt on that? Yaz, because 70% of the pitchers are right-handed. So I don't like the idea. I would just play. My idea is play Luciano the first 6 innings. Ahmed comes in 7th inning in a tight game where you need defense, 7th, 8th inning, whatever it is. But give Luciano 3 at-bats a night. I don't care who he's facing. Just give him 3 at-bats. Ahmed is not a great – unless you got a key situation. Let's say you got a situation where Wade's on the bench, bases are loaded, right-handed pitching, you're down 2. Okay, Wade's going to pinch hit for Luciano here because we need runs, and we're down, and, okay, we're going to put Ahmed in after that. But let's not ever consider Ahmed as a pinch hitter for Luciano.
That's what I was just going to say. What if Luciano's spot in the lineup is going to hit in the 8th or the 9th? Then you
don't need to bat for
the 8th would have been the perfect time.
If you're in the lead, right?
Because yesterday Luciano hit in the 8th, and that would have been the perfect time. You have Luciano hit, and then Ahmed would have came in the bottom of the 8th.
Right. Yeah. That is the plan in my view. That would be my plan. I've been saying it for 2.5 months or whatever, 2 months, whatever the doggone season is just keep Luciano, let him get his bats. You know what? He worked some good counts. He worked a walk tonight. Well, I can't remember what inning that was, but
Jared Jones is not an easy at bat.
No.
Especially when the umpire is giving you 4 inches off the outside.
Oh man, for both sides. Equally.
The
umpire was
what he got rung up on.
Yeah. But Yaz is 0 for 5, 220, 4 strikeouts. Chapman's up to 245. He might hit a peak of 252, and then he'll start to decline. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with Chapman. If Chapman hits you 245, which is above his average, career average, and gets you 22 home runs and plays stellar defense, you can't ask for more than that. But what I'm afraid of is that Matt Chapman's going to hit 225, and he's not going to drive in a lot of runs, and he's going to get you 18 to 19 home or whatever. He's going to fall short. He's got to hit close to his career average for the Giants to have any chance, because they need his bat in the lineup to be productive. You can't have an automatic out in the middle of the lineup.
No.
I mean, you just can't. And he's hot right now.
He's hot.
But you know what? That is going to that's going to happen with every player. I just don't think hey, look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I'll just say, hey, I missed it, and happy. That's a good deal for the Giants in two ways, because one, it helps the team for 2024, and I believe it gives an opening for Casey Schmidt for 2025, because you don't want Chapman here for 3 years. Believe me, you don't want Chapman here for 3 years, because then everybody loses. So, except Chapman.
Yeah.
So, I think it's good to see Bailey tonight. He's got his average up to 295 after tonight.
Had 2 hits.
Three for 5
hits. My bad.
Good to see Bailey, because I like Patrick Bailey. He's a good dude, and he plays hard. You hate to see guys get hurt through concussions.
Yeah, that's tough.
And hopefully he could stay healthy. The team is a different team. I mean, they're a much better team with Casale and Bailey combination, because
yes, better than the Bailey and Murphy combination.
Oh, Murphy, you don't need Murphy because he's got a bat, but you can't have bad defense behind the dish.
We got him for 2 more years. We got him for this year and next year, man.
That's an easy DFA if you want to keep Casale for next year. I mean, you're not going to DFA him until next year. You're going to hang on to him, but you don't need. $4 million's $4 million, but I mean, teams
should have never done it in the first place. But that just shows you. Well, whatever. I'm not going to get into that.
I don't know why. Yeah, Casale was a free agent during the offseason, but Farhan wanted to go offense. He wanted to go offense, and I think he thought, well, I'm adding defense with Ahmed and Chapman. Well, he had already signed those guys before he signed Chapman and Ahmed, so he was going offense. But I don't know what else you guys got on tonight's game. Anything else stand out?
Cody, go for it, man. We've kind of been hogging it all. Go for it, dude.
Oh, you're good, man. Yeah, no, I mean, for the game, like it was. They did a lot of things to win late. They battled. They didn't just roll over when they could have, when they got down 5-0, where it felt like all season that's what they've been doing. The big play to me was really Matos taking that extra bag in the 9th.
Yes.
Love to see the hustle out of him, out of a young guy. All the young guys contributed. They keep bringing the energy, but the veterans really did their job today, and that was a lot of credit to those guys, because it's felt like for about a week now where the kids were kind of carrying them, and this is how you're going to have to compete. Like, there's going to be days where they're not the ones driving the bus, and they're going to need to be carried a little bit. And
that's something we've been talking about. You sprinkle in your young guys with some vets, as long as the vets are producing, of course.
Yeah. And that's, and I've said for a while that I felt that this team could compete with Luciano, Matos, and Ramos in the lineup, as long as the vets do their job and provide the production that's expected of them. Not, we don't expect Matt Chapman to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100. Like Dan said, we want him to give us your career averages. Like, that's what we're looking for here. Right. Same with Soler and these guys. And, Snell, can you, for the love of God, just start giving us 5 innings and, and get through some, and actually save the bullpen a little bit on the days you're pitching. But I mean, to kind of expand what Dan said earlier, where, talking about the playing time and distributing it, to me, it's really not that difficult to still give Ramos and Matos 5 starts, because in my opinion, you could start those guys at least 5 times a week. And I'm going to assume a day off and 6 games in a week, even though some weeks, obviously there's 7, but you could easily give those guys 5 starts a week, at least. You could start Conforto and left 4 games a week and then DH him one day, because quite frankly, Soler hasn't really played well enough to DH every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And that would still leave Yaz, 3 or 4 starts a week.
Yep.
Right there. It's not to me, it's not hard to get those kids in the lineup basically every day.
Wait,
it's really
Cody,
not, so.
Real quick. Did you say kids? go, man.
Look at you every time you say that.
Let's go.
You got to pull that one up of Matos up again without the sound. It's at the very end. I was just going to explain how you pull an oblique. If you look at Matos' swing there, and you can see how an oblique gets pulled. Because,
yeah, right.
Man.
No, Nick, it is not. It's different music.
The kids, this is what, to me, the kids are like the Giannis Anaka. How do you say his last name?
What? Gesundheit.
Giannis Antetokounmpo or whatever. How you? To me, the kids are like that. They stay together. You don't.
Don't screw that up, man.
Giannis's brother is only on the team because Giannis is like top 5 basketball player in the world, and he's like, my brother's on the team or I'm not on the team. And they go, okay. So that's how the Giants have to look at Ramos, Luciano, and Matos. And I'll tell you why. Because those 3 are tight, and they're all Latin descent, all speak Spanish, and they need each other. They definitely need each other. And you break them up, and it's kind of like, there's energy with all 3 of them together. And I hope they keep all 3 of them together. Don't send them down just because, to send Ramos down is sending a message that he's not ready for the big leagues as a full-time player. And you're messing with the guy's head. This is his 3rd year up in the big leagues. He's producing at the big league level. What is Austin Slater hitting? 118?
Something like that, yeah.
Guys, Elliot Ramos is hitting 280, and he's on base 333. He's playing stellar defense. So I like that. Tres Amigos. That's a good name.
3 Amigos.
Tres Amigos.
It's 3 Amigos.
Tres Amigos. Same thing. It's Spanish. It's not 3.
Whoa! Yeah.
It's not 3 brothers. It's Tres Amigos. There we go. I like it. I also like the Latin connection or the Latin Sock Exchange. I know it's been used as the Pacific Sock Exchange, but why not the Latin Sock Exchange? We've got the Play the Kids from 86. We're talking about Play the Kids in 24. So let's do it. So just keep the kids. Just keep the kids. Like Cody said, you can find room for Yaz. He doesn't deserve to play every day. He's 0-for-5 against a right-handed pitcher tonight. Come on. Oh, you're muted, Cody.
Sorry. Thank you.
No.
Like Ahmed, he'll still enter games late. Like he'll still.
Yeah, exactly. Ahmed is 34 years old, and he's a defensive guy. He's a one type of player. He's a one-way guy, and you should use him that way. Use his strengths, and heck, if it's a huge game, like Boach used to do, sometimes he would play a defensive guy in the World Series. Maybe if you get a huge game that's a must-win, maybe you play the defensive guy in that game. But right now, to me, I haven't seen anything other than the one mistake that Luciano made last night to warrant. I love Kruk, but he was on record today on KMBR basically saying that Luciano's not a major league shortstop and needs to go down and hone his craft in the minors. I don't like that. I think that's I don't get where Kruko's coming from, because what has he done to hurt this team other than one error last night? One error. How many balls has Luciano had hit to him that he's fielded flawlessly? 20?
And you can't put that loss. You can't just pin that loss on him.
No.
There's a lot of things that went wrong. Yes. Was he a problem? Yeah. But
I
come on.
hate the F war stat or B war or whatever. I'm not a fan of those, but to me it says something when Luciano and Ahmed have the exact same war. And
Yeah.
Luciano's played 6 games. Like,
Wow.
guys, like like everyone loves Ahmed's glove. I love Ahmed's glove. The dude's atrocious at the plate. He's like 30-something% worse than league average offensively. He's barely got
Yeah, and he's hitting above his where he's going to end up right now. He's going to do nothing but go further into the tank.
Did Kruko say Chapman had to go down to AAA when he had those 6 errors in like 3 games?
Or
Of course not. Of course not.
Or
Come
when
on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you're putting him between Chapman and Estrada, who are both probably Gold Glove caliber. You know, Estrada is probably going to be a finalist this year, the way he's playing at least. And yeah, I mean, he might make some mistakes. We might be lucky if he's just an average shortstop, but you're looking for his bat to get established. You can worry about where he plays next year, but let his bat get established in the major leagues at this point.
Yeah, I mean, let's can we instead of blaming Marco, Will Clark said Luciano, Hiroku said needs to learn the game. He's not a heads up shortstop. Can we put that on the Giants development staff instead of just Marco? I mean, he's been in the minors for what, 6 years? He's been there. When was he drafted? 17 or 18? 2018. So he's been in the system 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 years. 6 full years prior to this year. Can we it's up to the Giants coaches to develop him. And if they're not developing him after 6 years and they see he's not ready, then you know what? That's on them because they should have moved him. They should have moved him to a different position, but they keep leaving him at shortstop. So I don't want to hear anything about it's on Luciano. Bogus. And this thing, Hiroku, yeah, he took the throw in front of the bag. Okay, he made that's more of a mental mistake. He was in the wrong place. He didn't think. But you know what? He learned from it, and now he doesn't do that. And he also almost stepped off the bag and threw when he was coming across the bag and grazed it with his foot. Was called out. Almost could have been safe. Next time it happened, same game, an inning or two later, he kept his foot on the bag for like 18 seconds. So, you know what? This is how you learn. So I don't know why you guys loved and everybody wants to nitpick at a rookie who's, I mean, is he, come on, is he going to be Brandon Crawford? No, not even close.
No.
He's not that. But you need his bat in the lineup. Guys, the Giants struggled to score more than 3 runs for 9 consecutive games. The 10th game, they got their 4th run on a Jackson Reitz 9th inning homer to the Phillies. Otherwise, it would have been 10 straight. Since Ramos, Matos, and Luciano are in the lineup, they've been averaging like over 5-6 runs a game. Okay? Do you think that's coincidental?
There's a correlation, no?
Nope.
Just take all 3 of those guys out of the lineup. Put Slater back in at times and Yaz, put Ahmed back in, and let's, Jung Hoo Lee wasn't actually lighting it up in center field, with
he was doing okay, but nothing.
He was
like
doing okay,
what
but
Matos is doing.
No,
and Matos. Let's talk about this. Matos needs to stay in that number 1 hole, right?
One or two.
Right?
I like him at 2 personally.
I like him at 2, and I like Wade.
Fine.
As I said tonight,
No.
I would have flipped. It worked out tonight. Matos got the base hit plus the error, and then Wade knocked him in.
Right.
But I like Wade because he gets on base more, and Matos to knock him in.
I'm happy. 1 or 2. Do it. Keep doing it every day. Don't change that part of the lineup, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I have a few thoughts on this where it's like, letting them go through their struggles and what Kruko said. And like one of them is, I wonder what Mike Kruko thinks that Ellie De La Cruz is a shortstop. They were talking all sorts of nice things about Ellie De La Cruz. while he was in town. He made 13 errors last season. He already has 10 this season.
Right.
He's got a 940 fielding percentage right now in Cincinnati.
What's
Kirko would be
Marco's
losing his mind.
What's Marco's fielding percentage right now? Look it up. I bet it's.
I'll pull that up. But
I bet it's 980.
Yeah, and the other thing is like you get. The other thing I've heard is people say, well, I'm sure these short, all these ground ball pitchers aren't going to like it with, having a guy like Marco playing short behind them. And I go, maybe not, but I'm sure they'll like scoring more runs and getting more run support.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a double-edged sword. Like we were just flushing outs down the toilet with Ahmed and Slater. And it's just, this offense isn't good enough they don't have good enough players in the middle to just throw outs away.
Look, you guys are going to have, after Brandon Crawford and then Matt Chapman this year, you're going to be hard-pressed to ever find two better defensive players. I think Schmidt can hold his own at short. They're going to have to develop another shortstop or trade for one if they, Luciano. I mean, there's going to be options for Luciano on this team, whether it's left field, right field, first base, or DH. There's 4 spots in the lineup for Luciano. The 2 corner positions, first base or DH. They've got to start working, with him. I would tell the Giants, if Luciano goes to play winter ball, let him develop one of those positions, first base or corner outfield. They may want to give Luciano the winter off, though, if he plays the full season healthy, just because of his back.
Correct.
I would think they would
that
say,
makes sense.
let's just
cover over the off season.
Yeah, let's just take the winter off. But you know what? They've got to work him in a different position. And if he gets sent down at some point this year, put him in a different position. Let him work it out. Luciano at third. Like I said, originally I thought he could be a great third baseman. Not great, but better third baseman than short. With Schmidt and Chapman there, why are you going to stick him at third? Unless you're going to move Schmidt to shortstop next year, but they've got to develop a legitimate shortstop at the position that stays there 10 years. And whether that's Walker Martin or Foster, the kid from Auburn they signed last year, drafted, or it's Maui Ahuna, or if it's the kid that's going to come.
Arias.
No, Rayner's an outfielder. No, he's
an infielder. Isn't he?
He's been playing outfield.
Well,
I don't know if he was signed as a shortstop. And
I thought he was signed as a
They've got
Artiega.
They got Artiega, but he's a good fielder, but not great hitter, I don't think. And we'll get to that here shortly when we go to Cody's minor league report. But they've also got this kid they're picking up that I played for you the other night from was he Dominican? Was it the kid from I couldn't remember where he was from.
Cuba.
No, he wasn't Cuba. No, he wasn't Cuba. I think he was DR. Anyway, this kid they're signing is a 70 speed, 70 arm, 5'10", switch hitting, super fast fleet. Think of terms of a guy like the shortstop with Washington. Forgetting his name all of a sudden. CJ Abrams or somebody along those lines. This may be the most athletic kid the Giants actually
who else? Giants have a 70-run speed kid right now in the minor leagues, but he's not getting on base. Cody will talk about that later. I'll let Cody take that a little bit later. So you got to get on. But the thing is, what's the bat skills? Yeah, okay, he can run. He's got an arm, which is great, but can he hit? Can he get on base?
Who are we talking about?
Cody, who are you talking about? Yeah.
Oh,
Grant McCray.
Grant McCray,
He's actually got a good month of May going. He did this last year too, where
he
goes historically bad in April, and then he'll get rolling in May, and hopefully it's something, hopefully it's a positive sign for what's going to come the rest of the season. But yeah, he was pretty rough in April.
To preface your minor league report, Cody, I want to go this way because I think this is going to be important. Blake Snell is hot garbage You ever seen hot garbage? You ever smelt hot garbage? Pretty bad. Stinks.
Yeah.
Got maggots crawling all over it, right? It's bad. So let's start with starting pitch. Who in the Giants system can come up? Because here we got kind of there's a little conundrum here because Snell is an issue, and then you got I'm gonna say win spot because that's whose spot it was, but he's on the IL. Yeah. So right now it's going to be Blake or Black with the bulk innings and blah blah. Who is going to fulfill the starting position? I mean, there's a potential. You're gonna have to have two guys.
Hey, before Cody gets going, I'll just say this. Let me give my rip on Snell, and then I'll say something positive. I said Blake Snell would not pitch past 4 innings tonight, just because he normally doesn't get past the 5th, and he was on an 75 pitch, 75 to 85 pitch count. This guy is going to walk a ton of people. He's going to do a lot of 3-2 counts. He gets out of it when he's got his stuff. He's going to struggle for another 2 to 5 starts, and then he will get it going. I think you'll see a different Blake Snell come late June, mid to late June into July, and then he'll take off. But I think you got another 2 to 5 crappy starts coming from Blake Snell.
I don't know. I'm going to have to push back because this guy, this is May 22nd.
Look what he did last year.
It's horrible. But supposedly he had time to work on this stuff. They gave him, 2 weeks to work on this?
Yeah.
Eric,
there's something wrong, and I don't know what it is because he's still missing high side.
This is what, have you watched his career? This is Blake Snell.
Oh my God, it's garbage. His stuff looks fantastic, but he just cannot command it. And I'm worried. That's $30 million we're playing here, right?
Not my.
I kind of want to see Casale catch him for a game, and I'd like to see him relinquish Pitt. I don't want Snell calling the game. I want to see Casale call the game for him for a game. And see if it can help get him out of his whatever funk. Because they said he's been calling games, and I'm not going to sit here and tell a guy what he should and shouldn't do, in the sense that he won the Cy Young last year, and I'm assuming he probably called the games then too, if I had to guess. But something's out of whack, and I just think.
And look at what was Snell's ERA at this time last year, and what is it now?
I want to say,
I guarantee you, it's nowhere close. We're talking about what in the.
That's an improvement of right now, yeah.
Tens. We're talking tens.
Yeah.
Whoa. Anyways, Cody, get to starting pitching. What do the Giants got? There?
So, I mean, for starters, so I guess I'm going to start off by saying who I could see realistically contributing this season. And Black is going to probably get at least another couple starts here and there, or looks in longer, whatever bulk role, whatever we want to call it. The guy that I actually, if they can get him stretched out, and he threw 67 pitches this week, would be Landon Roop.
I was going to say Landon Roop. Yep.
He's probably the most likely to get a look. They're trying to get him stretched out as a starter. It's a bit of a slow thing because he only pitched 32 innings last season, had a back injury. They didn't stretch him out as a starter in spring because he was coming off of that injury. So, we'll see. I think if they can get him up to 80 to 90 pitches, he'll be a guy. I mean, to me, Roop reminds me a ton of Ryan Vogelsong. I think he's got a little bit better stuff, but, and remains to be seen if he can, if he's the competitor that Vogelsong was, but, and has the intangibles, but just the ability to throw, the sinker, lives at the knees, has that big curveball that's really good, and he can throw it for strikes. I mean, it just reminds me a lot of what Vogie used to do, where he'd command all his pitches in the zone and throw any pitch to you at any count. And so I like him a lot. The other guys down there, they have Wisenhunt. He's kind of been up and down. He gave up 4 runs yesterday. Last week, he had a really good start where he only gave up 1 and only walked 1 guy. They have Birdsong in AA, who really should be in AAA probably right now. His stuff is too good for what he's seeing down there, and I think they kind of like what they did with Crawford. They should try and challenge him more with the tighter zones in AAA and the more hitter-friendly environments. I actually think he might have the most upside.
I was just going to say,
they
Birdsong,
have.
you said in your report he's already at 85-ish pitches, right?
Yeah.
So he's stretched
80
out.
yesterday. So he's throwing more, and it's easy for them to
Good.
probably get him up to 90, 95 if they needed to.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I really like him. He's got 3+ pitches. Now the splitter is a bit hit or miss for him. And if he can throw it for strikes, I actually think it could be his best pitch. But, he's still living at like 98 with the fastball, and the curveball he's buckling guys with. So, yeah, I'd like to see him in AAA, see what he does.
What about Wisenhunt? Why are they taking so long to stretch him out? He's still at 70-something pitches.
Yeah, 74. It looks like this last week. I haven't looked at his pitch count from yesterday
Because he's
yet.
been at AAA from the very beginning, right? You would think he'd
Yeah.
be up at least into the 80s, right? You would
Yeah, and he did have the elbow issue last year, so maybe they're just being careful.
think. Slow rolling him.
Yeah, I mean, and you've heard Farhan talk about it a lot, where he brings up, and this isn't me agreeing with Farhan, because
Right.
I'd like them to take the kids' gloves off these guys and let them stretch out. But Farhan's said, he's like, oh, there's all this data that supports that, you're putting them at risk.
know what?
And if you build them up slow and
All things being equal, without injuries, okay, that seems fine. But you're having issues in your rotation.
yeah.
So they better have some type of urgency. Hey, guys, we need to get these guys ramped up because we may be needing these guys in the short future.
So I think because he's also already on the 40-man, I think you're looking at Black and Roop are your guys.
Yeah.
And they're not going to dump these guys when Cobb, if Cobb comes back, or if Ray is healthy, or, when some of these guys that come off the, 60-day IL and they need to clear a 40-man spot, they're not going to dump guys like Mason Black and Landon Roop. Like that's not happening. These guys are going to be on there.
Oh yeah, they're gonna drop guys like, probably if they drop anybody off that roster, that 40, it's gonna be someone like Tang or Avila, or maybe what's going on with Trevor McDonald and Austin Warren.
I have not heard anything for Warren. I know Trevor McDonald is just now starting to make kind of some rehab appearances. I think he's been pitching down in the ACL with a few of the other guys, like Wade Meckler is coming back. Walker Martin's starting to do his, I don't know with Martin, I don't know if it's actually rehab or if they're just actually having him there. Because it sounded like when Haynes talked about it that they were originally going to have him go to San Jose. So I don't know if that plan has changed, but he's been playing the last few days. And
Warren's coming off Tommy John, right? Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Warren's coming off of Tommy John. That's he's special, man.
He's on the 40.
Yeah, I know. You tell me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Robbie Ray, I know, and Farhan had an interview with KNBR the other day. They said Robbie Ray was hitting 96 and he's about to start facing live hitters again. So
wow,
that's a good sign. I mean, that
means he's on track for after the All-Star break.
Yeah, because the All-Star break's about 7 weeks away right now. I figure he's probably going to need to make at least 3 starts in rehab.
Oh, they'll give him a full spring training.
Yeah, so
there's no need to rush
3 or
him.
4 at least, and he should be on track, assuming no setbacks, which isn't a safe assumption all the time.
Question is, how's his off-speed pitches looking?
Right, and how's he commanding these pitches? Yeah, I got 96, but I'm in the right-hander's batter's box.
Go Rick Vaughn, take off the head of the guy that gets standing in.
Boy, I'll tell you, Blake Snell, watching his command is just, he's either throwing the fastball high and outside, or he's throwing the curveball in the dirt. I mean, he did have a couple of nice ones. He was able to get strikeouts tonight. Mm-hmm. But guys chase some bad pitches. Blake Snell, I'm like I said tonight or last night, I said the Pirates will work the count and make him. Giants are very fortunate to get a win tonight because of who they were facing. That's why I give I got to give a lot of credit to Matt Chapman, because that's why he was in my star of the game offensively, because if he doesn't hit that out, the Giants don't win tonight.
No, I think
because
you're right. Yeah.
They're down 5-1. A 2-run homer is huge because they got the 1 in the 8th and the 1 in the 9th to tie it. But if you're down 5-1, it's going to be a tough to do. So, that 10th inning, when you score multiple runs in the 10th inning, it's a little deceptive because you got a guy on second base, and a lot of times you're facing, like tonight, a depleted bullpen, and you're just, you're out there. I mean, the Giants were fortunate. I mean, it was basically the same thing that happened last night, just reversal.
What is this pansy ass? Seriously, did Snell say he had a blister on his foot?
Don't know, but I heard him
Come
talk.
on!
He ain't throwing with his feet.
Eric, before you get too wild on him, he was talking like he felt like things were good, that he didn't throw the ball exceptionally well, but he feels good. And a lot of times,
Well, I'm glad he feels good.
Well, to a player, that's important because that's the first thing. When your body feels good, the next thing to come is the results. So
that's just me, man. He's a reigning Cy Young. He feels great. So if he's feeling great, he should be out there pitching his ass off. But he's not.
Well, it's not for lack of effort. I mean, you can't.
No, I get that. No, I get that. But my God, you signed this guy to be a quote unquote co-ace with Webb, right? This guy's a reigning Cy Young. You're paying him $30 million. I'm talking about the Giants paying him $30 million. There should be some expectations. I don't give a crap if he feels great. That's fine. I'll go with that. But I want him to go out there and execute and get outs. Don't
you think he wants to do the same?
Oh, I'm sure he does. But my God, you got to put the onus on somebody, and it's got to be the guy who's being paid to do this job. Do you see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying is the guy's got to go out there and execute because the team is dependent on him. But you can't keep throwing bullpens because tomorrow the bullpen's going to get depleted again when Black goes out there and lasts about 4 innings.
True.
And Doval's not going to be available tomorrow.
Doval probably won't be available because now he's gone out 2 times in a row.
I don't think they're going to need Doval tomorrow anyway, even if he was available. I don't know if
they go to Randy because he pitched 2 innings.
I don't see the Giants beat. It could happen.
I see what you're saying.
That's why I just don't think they're going to hit Skeens.
Yeah.
I think Skeens wouldn't shock me if Skeens goes 6 innings and gives up 1 or 2 hits and strikes out 10. 10
Nothing
plus.
shocks me with this lineup.
But and I think by the time Skeens comes out of the game, I think the Pirates are up 4 or 5 runs. But baseball's a funny game, and anything can happen. Doesn't always go the way you think it'll go. But I just think Snell is still working out this is basically his second spring training. He was basically rushed into the lineup. He had only 2 starts, and then he's had 2 starts in spring. Remember Webb, how awful he looked in the spring training? He was getting rocked. Blake Snell's pitched how many games? 4?
This is his 4th.
How many games do you generally start in spring training? 5.
Somewhere. How many games did he pitch in the minors?
2.
2? I think it's more than that.
Only 2.
Is it 2?
1 in San Jose and 1 in Sac.
Yeah, he's pitched 2.
I thought he threw before
tonight
he came up to the Giants.
Tonight was his 5th start on the season. Start. He had 2 this is his 3rd start with the Giants, and he had 2 in the minors.
Okay, that's cool. Do you think that this 5th start should look more like a 5th start instead of a first start? Because that's what it looked like. It looked bad today.
I don't know. Logan Webb's 5th start didn't look good in spring either.
Yeah,
I'm just saying these guys. It takes a while for them to get going. I still think he's got more suck in him. I really do. I don't think he gets going, like I said, for the next anywhere between 2 and 5 starts, because he has to find that every 5th day rhythm, and he's not in it. He hasn't even been close to being in it. He pitched stinking simulated games.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to pitch every 5th day, and he'll work it out. And if he doesn't, well, then you're stuck with him.
I think at some point he'll at least produce, quality results
I think it happens
for the most part.
Yeah, I think it
It
happens.
just might take some time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, looking at him for on a potentially 2-year deal, it's trending that way. Certainly right now, the way he's pitching, I would say you'd feel good that you're probably going to get a good season out of him next year, even if he does just kind of crap the bed this season, because historically speaking, he's at least been above average most of the years. He's had a couple really poor years and then a couple Cy Young years, but even the years between, he's at least been, a solid pitcher, an above average pitcher. So I think you'd feel good that he'd at least get it going next season, full spring training and everything, if he does have an awful season this year.
Right. You might get the best of him next year. He's had a lot of inconsistency.
Yeah, that's why I was against giving him a long-term deal all offseason.
That's why I was fine with a 2-year. I still am.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have preferred to have Imanaga and Montgomery, 2 lefties that have control and get the ball on the ground. Although Snell does get a lot of ground balls when he's on. So, that's this year or
this year only. Jordan Montgomery, he had less time to prepare than Blake Snell, correct?
Yeah. He actually went.
He went to the minors
later, but he did make like 2 or 3 starts.
So he made 2 or 3 starts before he started. Okay.
Yeah.
And Blake Snell is in his 5th start. Right? All right. He pitched 4 major league games and 2 minor leagues. So this was his 6th.
No, this was his third major league game tonight.
His 4th major league game.
3rd.
Are you sure? I thought it was his 4th.
3rd.
Okay.
Right? Am I right?
He had 3 bad ones. Then he went on IL. He had 3 bad ones.
I thought it was 4, but I'm not 100%.
Maybe this is his 4th.
Right.
So this is his. So what I'm saying is, if you include the 2 minor league games and the 4 major league, that's 4 starts. Or I'm sorry, 6 starts.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. Montgomery's not lighting it up either, but he doesn't have a. This is, of course, doesn't take.
So it is his 4th tonight. So he's not in any kind of rhythm.
No, he's not. And he may find it. Absolutely.
He should. He should.
What I'm saying is the amount of money that this team is paying for someone like this, he's got to be better.
Well, what are you going to do if he's not?
I don't know. And honestly, and that's what sucks, because are you going to be stuck with him next year?
Like Cody just said, if you get him next year, he's got a better year because he's on a contract year again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't understand this ERA though, man. There's something definitely.
Well, Eric, when you give a bad outing and you don't have a lot of innings, your ERA is going to shoot through the roof. I mean, one bad inning, you could have a 90 ERA.
No, absolutely, I get it. But he's done that every start. He's done. That's the issue. It's not like, okay, this in this game I had 1 bad inning, but every outing he's got, I don't.
Well, he gave up 4 runs tonight and 3 in the 3rd, so that's just a little over 9. Because but had it's going to take a while to bring the ERA down, but he did last year. Last year, he ended up with a second half of the season. I think it was a 1.25 ERA.
He did, but I don't think he started off with an 11.
No, he started off with like a 5.
See,
but still 1.25.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, 100%. That's awesome.
It was either like mid 4s to 5s at the end of May last season, and then all of a sudden he was like
untouchable
the rest of the way.
Let's see what happens, I guess. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is I put something out earlier tonight on a Facebook deal. It's responded to somebody. The Giants are not a good team, okay? But they probably have a good shot at still making the playoffs. Does that make them a good team? No. They're not a good team, guys. This is not a good baseball team. It is an average baseball team at best. And that's why they're 3 games under 500 or 2, or what are they? 2 now?
2,
24 and 26. So think about it. They're been struggling to reach 500 all year, and this just means that and yet where are they? One game out of the wild card.
Yeah. So Parcells that said you are what your record is.
Yeah.
And they've been about 500 for on our third straight season.
Okay, here's the thing. Take away the standings. Do you still think this is a good team, not even being 500? And only because the rest of the league kind of sucks and that there's a third wild card, that automatically makes you a good team? You're not even 500. They have yet to hit 500 since the first week of the season. So they have to do better, and they're doing better with the young kids, which I like. So maybe it keeps, maybe it doesn't. We're just gonna have to see how it plays out. But I'm worried about this starting rotation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, their rotation is going to be
later in the year.
The rotation is going to be an issue. I guarantee it's going to be an issue. And Farhan's going to have to make a deal for us for a number 3 type starter. Because I'll tell you what I think is going to happen with this club. I think Webb will be Webb, and he'll be fine. He'll give you a solid season. Snell will eventually be okay. He's going to struggle for a little longer, and he'll eventually be okay. Now you get into the number 3 starter, Harrison. I think Harrison does okay and does pretty decent until August rolls around. And when he's up to his innings that he's ever, most innings he's ever pitched in his life, he's going to struggle with tiredness. And when you're tired, the ball hangs, you get hit harder, you lose your command. And the other one I'm going to put in that same category is Jordan Hicks. I think Jordan Hicks is going to be solid until his engine basically is, his gas tank is on E, because these guys are not built for the season, the 162 game season, Harrison and Hicks. Maybe they get there in the next year or two, but they're not there this year. So now what do? You have 2 starters. Now you're going to have to hope Robbie Ray comes in July after the All-Star break and is ready to pitch and rescues you for another starter. Now you're still, I think, 2 starters in need, because I think the 4th starter, maybe Wynn comes back, but you can't count on him. He's not reliable. Maybe, as Cody said, it's Landon Roop for some, to eat up some of those games. But they're going to need to trade for a starter if they're in the race. They're going to need someone but he's probably not going to be on the block because Kansas City's winning, but someone like a Michael Wacha, somebody that can give you innings, whether that's, a Wacha or whether it's for the Giants in years past, it was a guy like Rick Russell. Somebody in the chat saying maybe Kevin Gausman becomes available. Maybe that's a possibility. The Blue Jays are really struggling. Maybe you can pull a deal off for Vladdy and Gausman in a deal. But
what do you make of this, guys? Cody, Dan, what do you make of this coming up?
I don't see Farhan pulling the trigger, because he'd have to give up some good prospects, and Farhan is yet to prove he's willing to give up any prospects.
I like Bo Bichette a lot. I don't know if I'd make the deal for Vladdy personally.
Here's
I
a
get
question.
the excitement in the name, but he's been trending downward for 3 years in a row. And I know the offer that Bleacher Report threw out, it was like basically saying, Bryce Eldridge for Vladdy. And I don't know if realistically it's going to take more than that, but frankly, I would not want to include Eldridge in that deal. I'm not saying I wouldn't be willing to make a trade for him, building around another big piece, but personally, I would not make that deal. I just watching, Eldridge isn't necessarily untouchable, because no prospect really is untouchable, because at the end of the day, they're still prospects, and it's a total crapshoot. But if I'm going to move him, I want to get a better player back. Like, I
Cody,
want it to be a part of the package.
Yeah. Where's Eldridge ranked right now in the top 100? Like 70, 80?
He was in mid 90s before the year. A bunch of guys graduated off the list. I could probably have that for you in a second. Let's see, top 100 right now.
I thought he was like 74 or 84. I couldn't remember. Some people are saying 78.
76.
76. Okay.
He was in the 90s before the season, I think, but a lot of guys have graduated.
Here's where he'll be by the end of this year. Top 40.
I agree.
He will be top 40, and he might even crack the top 30.
And if he has a great next season, I think you're looking at a guy that might be a top 10 guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like that. Yeah. That's how high I am on Eldridge. I mean, the Giants haven't gotten a guy that has the potential, the offensive potential to be just a middle of the order kind of dynamic player in maybe decades. Like, I mean, it's been a long time since they've had a guy with his kind of, power and contact skills combined.
Do you think he finishes in AA this year?
I think for sure he gets to high A, and I'm hopeful, but I think he'll probably finish in high A and then start next season in AA if he's successful. And I mean, I think best case for him, you're looking at a guy that maybe makes a push to be on like the 2026 opening. That would be like the most aggressive movement. I never predict guys to burn through the system like, Gunnar Henderson and Holiday kind of did, and these guys that like rip through in less than a season. Meckler did it last year. I don't ever predict that. That's pretty aggressive, but
right.
I think he could be in AAA by the end of next season or by middle of next season and knocking on the door. I mean, at that point, you can come up any point. So,
Matt Chapman. Los asked him the question, "Hey, Mike, why do you bring up Matt Chapman all the time?" I don't know if he's got Mike, do you have a fetish with Matt Chapman or something? Because you bring him up constantly, and you just asked me if I like him now, but you yourself said you didn't like him and you dropped him from your fantasy team. I don't know. I'll just say this. I'm going to be consistent until he proves me otherwise, that he's better than a 240 hitter. Look, I told you guys he's going to have a hot streak, okay? He's going to have a 1 to 2 week hot streak. He's 1 week into a hot streak. It may continue. I don't see it continuing for that long. Maybe he stretches it to a month. But this guy has proven himself that he strikes out consistently about 160 plus times a season, and he hits anywhere between 220 to 240. Okay. And the Giants don't have a great lineup. So I just don't. I love his glove. Always never knocked his glove. I don't see him as a guy that, he's like any other guy that can get hot. He can carry you for a while, but show it to me. Show me that you're a 250 plus hitter. Matt Chapman hits 250 plus and hits 20 plus home runs. I'll say, man, hey, the Giants got a really good signing. So, I think he's good for the club in some ways because he plays every day and he's a gamer. I'll give him that much. He's a gamer and he goes out there and plays hard. And he also, like I said, he shows up. And I think clubs need that. You don't need guys like Evan Longoria that are out for 3 weeks at a time constantly, or guys that are constantly hitting the IL. But I don't know. Senior, I didn't forget your comment. I saw it. You said I was up against Matos taking second base. I think he was being a little.
Yeah, that was
facetious.
tongue in cheek. Yeah,
Tongue in cheek. Yeah, I didn't mind it at all because it was a one-run game.
Situation
down.
matters.
Situation matters. I thought it was gutsy, and he made it, and it won him the game basically because
I mean, what are the odds of, realistically, what are the odds of stringing together 2 more hits after Matos if he doesn't take that bag?
right.
So, and it's heads up. I mean, he made an aggressive turn as he should, and he saw the outfielder did not field it cleanly and just took off. And I mean, it's just, to me, I don't even know if I think it's super gutsy. It just was heads up in my opinion.
It was a heads up.
Mike, I don't know if you've joined us or not just now, but I said in the beginning of the show, I said I gave Matt Chapman one of the stars of the game, said he's playing well right now, and he played not only well offensively, but great defensively. And I said, you got to like what he's doing. Absolutely. What am I supposed to do? Come on here and continue to rip Matt Chapman right now because he's playing well? I mean, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to say, yeah, Matt Chapman is just like, I can't stand the guy. He sucks and he's killing the team. He's helping the team right now.
Dan pulls out the Sabian quote. I'm not an idiot.
I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, I'm not.
Oh, man.
Look, just because a guy's having a good week or two doesn't mean he's going to be a great fit for the whole team for the whole year. I don't know what to say to you guys that come on here and ask if I like. I don't look. My opinions are fluid, but they're consistent. I'm not going to sit here and say I think this is the best signing. I still would wish they didn't sign him. That could change. That could change if the guy continues to do well and he makes the Giants better. Mike, I want you to say that I am the most amazing YouTube host you've ever watched. Please.
Come on, Mike. Do you want me to pull up receipts of what you've been saying in Group Me? What you said about Matt Chapman? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike. Do you want me to pull up the receipts of what you said about Matt Chapman in the Group Me?
Mike, I know why you're out of Mike. I know why you're out of moves you're out of your 62 moves in the middle of May in fantasy baseball because you sway your opinion from game to game. I don't.
Yeah, Mike, exactly. There's a few people in the chat know exactly what Mike has said about Matt Chapman.
Look,
in the baseball fantasy group me.
I don't change my opinion on guys from game to game. I've told you Matt Chapman would have a hot streak. He's not the worst player ever. He's just not a great major league hitter.
He's consistently better than league average if you go off like things like OPS plus or WRC plus or whatever. Right. But he's not going to hit.
He hits the ball hard. He hits the ball hard, but he also doesn't drive in a lot of runs.
And he has a lot of swing and miss. He has a lot of swing and miss.
Because the reason he doesn't drive in a lot of runs is because he doesn't always come through with hits when runners in scoring position. So to me, it makes him not the greatest offensive player, but he's also an excellent defensive player. He plays every day. And the Giants don't have a lot of guys that go out there and play every day historically. And he's a good teammate.
Yeah,
so
you can't argue that. Yeah.
He plays hard. He's a good leader in the clubhouse.
He's
going to
you cannot. Yeah.
I have nothing personally against him. But I'll just say this, that he could help the Giants and he may not. I don't think. My whole thing is not so much, look, for those who think I hate Matt Chapman.
You hate him, Dan.
I don't hate Matt Chapman. I didn't like the signing because I don't think the Giants are ready to win a World Series right now. Sorry to disappoint some of you. So I'd rather see them develop a 25-year-old second-round pick who's 25, who needs to develop his game, and he needs to struggle. So that's why I was against it, because you have a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. That's all. If David Villar is your third baseman and that's all you got in the system, heck, sign 2 Matt Chapmans. Okay. There you go. I said it. Jeez.
You know, when they had Longo, I mean, look at the bottomless or the just pit of despair where at the third base position, whatever you want to call it, at the third base position in the system back then. I mean, they had nobody when they went and got Longo. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great deal at the end of the day, but they didn't really give up anything for him. Christian Arroyo hasn't turned into like some super productive big leaguer or anything like that.
Right.
And he played he was a legitimate third baseman for 5 years while here. He was injury prone, but then they went and got Pablo back and kind of helped with that for a few years. But
I get all the Chapman lovers in the sense that Matt Chapman's solid ball player, great defender, and he's a leader, and the Giants need that. And I know the Giants are trying to win this year. I've said, look, I don't think they're going to win the World Series, but prior to all the injuries happening with the pitching, I said this team, if they make the playoffs, could be dangerous. Now, if they go into the playoffs and they have Webb and Snell dealing, and Robbie Ray is Robbie Ray of 21, and you have 3 solid starters, you have a shot.
Yeah.
The likelihood of Ray being Ray of 21 this year, probably not real high. But they could, they have the wherewithal to go get a Kevin Gausman if Gausman becomes available. They could do it. Now, if you do that, you have Gausman. I mean, imagine if you got Gausman this year and you had Snell and you had Ray. I mean, Webb. And then all of a sudden you have Gausman and Webb and Ray next year. I mean, yeah, you're looking at Cobb. No, Cobb. Don't count on Cobb.
Come on.
Well, and a guy like Jordan Hicks, for instance, that he might not be starting games by then, but if you can get into a short series, you might be able to use him in a 2012 Tim Lincecum role.
Right.
And he gives you 2 innings,
a bridge,
2 1/3.
Absolutely.
I shorten the game a little.
I'll tell you what, if somehow they move Hicks to the bullpen at some point because they have enough starters and Hicks is starting to show signs of fatigue and fading, I would give the guy 2 weeks off and just let him get his arm back and then put him in the 8th inning role for the rest of the season. And how about that? How would you like to have Rodriguez in the 7th, Hicks in the 8th, and Duvall in the 9th? You want to talk about what the Indians, when they were the Indians back when they had Miller.
Kansas City had the 3-headed bullpen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 3-headed bullpen. Oh gosh. And then you can have, Rogers, one of the Rogers in the 6th if you had to. I mean, you shorten the game if you get 5 1-inning guys, man. Then Blake Snell becomes valuable because now you just say, Blake, hey, just go throw your stuff. Give us 5. Just give us 5 great innings. That's all you got to do. Blake Snell has the ability to give you 5 shutout innings when he's on. I mean, he's practically unhittable when he's on. Yeah, Los. What's your Eric? What's your thoughts?
What's your thoughts on Chapman? Everyone's saying, "Hey, what's your thoughts on Chapman?" Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and I forgot you actually still had JD Davis at one point. How's he doing with Oakland? Is he still struggling? Is he just in the
Dookie, man?
Hey, he hit 2 home runs on opening day.
Yeah.
Wow.
He makes Snell look like
what he's done or it might not have been opening day. It was like the 3rd game of the year or something. But
Jim Thurkill says, I'm hoping Hicks wins 15 as a starter to shut up all the bullpen garbage. Well,
I hope so too.
Hey, that would be great. Look, again, it's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not, I don't have all the answers. I'm just spouting my opinion. But I'm just going off of what he's done. The most innings he's ever pitched in a season is like what, 80?
He threw. We're gonna go all the way back to like A ball here. He threw like 105. I think 7 years ago, and
What about his big league career? What's he thrown most?
like 70,
70.
70
Yeah,
something.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Where's he at
Yeah.
now? 50 something?
Look, guys, he's gonna hit a wall when he gets to that innings mark. It's just it's not him, it's anybody.
It's anybody. Yeah.
It's anybody.
Yeah, I think he said his goal is to get to 130, and then anything beyond that is, they're going to
Okay,
just
but
have to
tell me
play it
this:
by.
goal is 130. Where does that get you in the season? If you want to be a starter and your goal is 130, then what do you do the rest of the season? You just sit.
I
on
think he means for
it's about
this
22
season,
starts. That's about 20. What 22 times 5 is what 110.
Okay, so what do we do with the other couple of starts that he has?
22 times 6. So some of those will be.
That's where I would be skipping him occasionally,
right?
Even
but
now,
the Giants can't do that now, though.
Yeah, I know. Right now they can't. Once because now Keaton wins on the IL with the forearm tightness, which. I mean, a lot of times forearms, it's related to elbows, and he's already had multiple elbow issues. So, I'm not going to just sit here and say he's going to blow out his arm, but it's concerning. So, I mean, they're in a tough spot. I mean, they really need to get a guy like Roop stretched out at least to like 75, 80 pitches, because they might need him in even a bulk role in some of these games with how many guys are going down. So,
if Matos keeps playing the way he does, he might be an all-star. If he keeps going.
Matos could if he kept going. I think the all-star, if you were picking an all-star today, besides possibility of Webb, I mean, Lamont Wade is definitely.
Lamont Wade, yeah.
If he had a few more homers, he'd be a lock.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Basically, he is. He's your Arias.
Yeah.
Right? He's your Arias. That's what you guys want, right? Los, you got to agree, right? Wade. Lamont Wade is your Arias.
Well, he gets on base more than Arias.
He's batting 333, and he's on an on-base clip of 4.
I mean, I don't think Lamont Wade is the hitter that
well, right now he is. Right now
he's
the hitter.
He's also facing primarily right-handed pitching only.
Well, so does Arias.
No, Arias faces everybody.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, gotcha. He's in there every day. Good point.
And I mean, I'd like to see Wade get a few more at bats against lefties. I think he's earned it.
I think he's earned it.
And and if he stinks, then you go back to Flores getting the full platoon on that. But
that's the problem.
He's earned it.
Flores.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Well, they're trying to force Flores to get at bats.
You,
I was. Yeah.
I'm not going to be right or accurate all the time for sure, but it comes from 50 years of watching this game. 50 more than 50 years. I've been watching this game since 1968. I started playing baseball with my older brothers at about 5, 4 or 5. I actually, was able to throw and catch a baseball pretty good. Just kind of was fortunate, just had 2 older brothers that were great athletes, and I wasn't near the athlete they were, but especially my one brother, Ron, he was like, pro football player. But man, he could hit a baseball too. Crap. He used to just knock the crap out of baseballs. It's just, you play the game long enough, you watch it long enough, you start to see guys with your eye test. I honestly don't look at that much charts. I see them and stuff, but I can tell. I'll tell you that Matos is a guy I don't think goes back down this year. I think if they do send an outfielder down this year, it's likely to be Ramos, which will kind of tick me off. But the one area that Ramos is going to have to fix, and he's going to have to learn that they're going to try and get him with breaking stuff away. And he chases it, and he was able to go to right field tonight with a key hit in the 10th inning. hit it the ball 108 miles per hour, I think it was. So if he can learn that, I don't want to see him go down, but I know this club, and they're going to give the rank to Austin Slater, because he's not only their player rep, he's one of the MLB. He's on whatever that board is or whatever. He's one of the most powerful guys in the union. Okay. I don't know how much that has an effect. Shouldn't have any. If you're a winning organization, you say, well, go be the player rep for somebody else. But I just think when guys rely on when they rely just on stats and fail to watch the game, this is why these guys weren't even here, is because McKenna is here because Farhan is going to play some matchups. He's not going to be here a long time. But personally, this type of team the Giants have with all these injuries, how would you like to see an outfield of Ramos in right, Matos in left, and Tyler Fitzgerald? Matos in center and Fitzgerald in left. That kind of speed and giving Fitzgerald a chance to actually play. See, I think the Giants misplayed Fitzgerald. I think he stunk because he got 1 or 2 at-bats a week. You try going up to face guys hitting. It's tough enough to face him 25, get 25 at-bats a week. Try getting 1 or 2 at-bats. I think the Giants should have done what Cody was talking about by finding positions for, you move guys around. I would have been playing Fitzgerald 2 days a week when Ahmed was in the lineup, and I would have been playing him one day in left field and another day in center. I would have given Tyler Fitzgerald 5 games a week just to see what he could do. It was April, guys. It wasn't September or August, the dog days of summer. I would have given Fitzgerald a lot of reps, a lot of at-bats, and I would have said, what can Tyler do? And you would have known. You would have got a better sample size. Now you got this short sample size, and you think he's a failure and he's not ready because he looked bad in a lot of his at-bats. And then he got picked off, which really iced him, But I don't understand why the Giants didn't treat him like Chris Taylor of the Dodgers. You remember Chris Taylor 3-4 years ago when he was like one of the hottest things in baseball because he was playing left field, center field, shortstop, second base. They just had him in the lineup because he was a catalyst for the team. The Giants had how many stolen bases? Do the Giants even have 12 or 13 stolen bases? I don't
think so.
I think they got about
right at the
15.
bottom.
I think they got about 15 for the whole year.
I think the last stolen base was Chapman when he was when they were in San Francisco.
Yeah. But so Fitzgerald goes down to AAA. It's AAA. I get it. It's not the major leagues, but still, he hit 4 for 4 last night, 2 home runs with a grand slam. The kid has got talent. He's got power. He's got something that the Giants lack, which is speed. I don't know. To me, can he be worse than Yaz? Seriously, can he be at the plate? Yaz gives you, he's a 220 hitter. He strikes out constantly. Why didn't you just play him when you had the chance? I don't know. To me, I don't know if he can play or not. But the only way to find out is to play him.
Real quick, Los says Wade is a soft 330 hitter. Think Al Oliver, not many RBIs. Well, he isn't getting many RBIs because there's not a whole lot of guys on base. But this is, and I'm guessing you could guess who is what just by the damn on base percentage. Yeah, look at that. Luis Reyes. Look at that.
What are you looking at this year?
This is this year. OPS for Wade, 879. That's like MVP caliber right there for OPS. Arias, 746.
Yeah, but look
OPS plus, of course, taking in consideration the park you playing.
Look at the plate appearances, though.
Plate appearances. Yeah. That's not that drastic.
Wade's average is higher than 319.
Yeah, it didn't take in consideration today because his on base is also not 463. It's 480.
Did it drop to 319
before today? I think yes.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean,
so I don't think he's a soft 330 hitter. I don't think he's soft.
Lamont Wade's not a 300 hitter. Okay?
No,
he's not going to hit 300 if he plays. If he does 250 at bats, he might. Okay,
it's not 319 now, Perry. But he got up to 330 something today.
Give Lamont Wade 400 plus at bats. He's not hitting you 300. He might hit you 270 plus, which is great. As long as he's getting on base at the clip. I mean, he's not going to be 485. But if Lamont Wade flirts with 400 on base, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's not the hitter that Arias is. Arias is,
he's more of a pure hitter. But I'm just talking about right now in this point of the season.
I mean, again, we're only 50 games in, right?
Yeah, exactly 50.
Yeah. So let's remember the Washington Nationals in 2019 won the World Series when they were 19 and 30 or something like that, weren't they? Something like that. So there's a long way to go. But anyway, I don't know what else you guys have. Cody, you got any more on
he didn't get into the hitters of the we stuck with the pitching today. But yeah, let's
who's the top three hitters right now in the give me one at each level that you would say you like. One at low A, high A, double A, triple A.
Yeah. I mean, triple A, I think there's only really one correct answer right now because half the lineup went up to San Francisco anyway. But I mean, well, with the couple days Fitz had in the last 2 days, you could break an argument. But going off of last week and previously, I mean, Hunter Bishop was by far the best player on that team last week. He was phenomenal. And
give me your thoughts on Hunter Bishop. Does he have a shot at making an appearance sometime this year or next year?
I think this year it's a long shot to think for him because with Ramos, with Matos already up, with Wade Meckler on the 40-man, I mean, he's got to jump some people. Fitzgerald can play the outfield. He's in there. Wisely can play the outfield. He's on the 40-man. There's just a lot of guys ahead of him that are already on the 40-man right now. Now, next season, I mean, if he keeps doing what he's doing at AAA, I mean, they're going to, he is a Farhan Zaidi first ever draft pick. So, I mean, there is an investment there.
Could he be trade bait this year if he continues to hit well?
I think it's possible, but I question how much value he truly has at nearly 26. He's going to turn 26 at the end of June. It's like, I don't know what kind of value he might have there, but I mean, I really like him. It's just a matter of, can he get the bat on the ball consistently? I like his swing. He's got a pretty flat swing through the zone. He's got fast hands. He stays inside the ball. I mean, the home run that he hit, that was an actual, left the yard home run, not the inside the Parker where he showed off his wheels, which, I mean, outfielder misplayed it, but that's usually every inside the park home run. You don't get very many where the outfielders played it perfectly. But the one he hit out, it was off the inside of the plate, and he stayed inside it and hit it a mile. And I mean, not at all saying he's Barry Bonds, but it's what you used to see Bonds do. Like, he'd get a pitch that was kind of at him, and he'd sometimes keep him fair somehow. So, like, he's got all the tools, and just can he barrel the ball enough? And that's the question. But right now in Sacramento, I mean, he's the hottest guy on the planet down there. So, we'll see kind of how he continues. Double A, right now it's McRae. I mean, you look at his season numbers and it's pretty rough. I mean, it's almost impressive. He's hitting about a 192, I think, right now, and he's got a 730 OPS.
Wow.
So he's hitting a lot of doubles, a lot of homers. The stolen bases are way down. Only has 5 on the season, which we kind of talked about last time. When you're not getting on base, you can't take advantage of your speed. I also kind of wonder if maybe he's got some kind of nagging thing going, lower body thing going on. I just curious because he's not even attempting many. He's like 5 for 5 on the season. So I haven't heard anything. Unfortunately, with minor leagues, they don't talk about a lot of injuries. So guys go out and you don't know for multiple weeks until somebody drops a nugget in the KNBR interview or something like that. So I haven't heard anything on him, but he just hasn't been running a ton. High A, a lot of guys struggled between Diego Velasquez and O'Neal Perez and Quinn McDaniel. Kind of pick which one of those guys you like the most, really. I feel like any of the 3 are hitting pretty well this season. All kind of struggled, though, last week. But, I checked the box scores today, and I know McDaniel and Velasquez both had a pair of hits today. So,
yeah, McDaniel was pretty high on the Giants a year or two ago.
Well, I think he was a 5th-round pick last season. He was the guy that got out of Maine.
Was it? Am I thinking of the same guy? Maybe was there a guy named Quinn something else?
There was a Heath Quinn.
Heath Quinn, that's the guy I was thinking of.
That guy, he had like a really good year in A-ball.
Yeah, they were really high on him for.
He was a 3rd-round pick, and then all of a sudden he just fell off the map.
Yeah, what's going on with Von Brown in Richmond?
He can't make contact. That's the nicest way I can put it. He's just.
Is he up to 100 yet?
God,
I don't think
I don't even know what he's hitting.
So it's like
he went 1 for 11 last week with.
Wow. So it's like pitchers are coming like this they're winding up.
Yeah.
And they come with the ball like, whoo! See that? Did you see that, huh?
Look at that.
Look at that, huh? I can do it again.
But,
here it comes. Wow!
Look at Dan with the magic.
It's like the guy that put the ball in the back of the glove and then he showed his hands like this and then grabbed it and threw the pitch.
Hey, Justin Rosenthal, I haven't seen you in the chat before. Player,
but
we had who were the last legit base stealer? We could probably get into that after you're done.
The Giants haven't had a guy steal 30 bags since Dave Roberts in 2007.
Woo! Really? It's been that long?
To me, it's more embarrassing than the Bonds and 04 being the last 30 homer guy. Look at the park you playing. You should be filling it with speed guys.
What do you think?
They refuse to.
I don't understand the mindset of this club.
Damn.
Good contact.
Speed plays everywhere. What are we doing here?
Yeah. This is why I think Matos. I'd be shocked if Matos goes back down again. Just because
I don't think he will.
I don't.
The way he's playing.
I think he's legitimately. I'll say this. Let me think this through before I say it. Let me think the lineup. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Pound for pound, talking tools, talent. I think Matos is their best player on the team. Wade's having a great season. He doesn't have the talent Matos does. I think Matos has, Matos can be, once he gets his game going, he could be an annual 2020 guy. He can be, Matos could hit upper 200s, flirt with 300. Doesn't strike out a ton. Once he really, he's just got incredible bat speed. Matos is a guy, and to think that they started Yaz in front of him.
I know. Come on, get out of here, man. I just
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Yeah.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty,
He
kitty,
just
kitty.
started at the door, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
it's all good.
Oh,
It's all
bring
good.
him
Gotta
on.
go
Bring him
kick
on
the
the
door in
show,
a
man.
minute.
Our pets
Dan
are
always
part
has
of
a
the show.
snoring dog on, so you can bring
Come
on a
on.
meowing cat.
Bring. I got
That's
Buster
hilarious.
Boy. Look at Buster Boy. He's sitting
yeah.
right down there, right behind me.
If I let him in though, he's just gonna be walking like right on the desk, like right
That's
in front
cool.
of it.
That's cool. That's part of. Hey, man. That's what makes our chat special.
Yeah.
It's because we're real life. We don't.
Yep.
You know, we don't. Hold on. What happened to my
Right,
screen
meow.
here? There we go.
I always think of Super Troopers, the meow game.
See, I've
All
never
right.
seen that. That's that'll be on my head.
Yeah. Bring in the cat. Open the door. Let the cat come in.
I don't think Cody wants to.
I mean, it's not like you got a cat litter box right in front of you. He's going to crap in your box, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's in here. That's probably what you.
Oh, maybe he's
No,
gotta
there
go.
you go. That's why I get it.
Hey, you know what? We won't smell it. I guarantee you.
Yeah, you guys will be fine.
I mean,
My eyes might
we
start
may not
watering.
smell
And I
it.
might tear
We
up
might
a
not
little
smell
bit,
it.
but, you know.
Maybe we'll hear it.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it. I knew exactly what Dan was doing.
Get out of here. I'll throw you a
Oh,
curveball
gosh.
and strike you out, Eric.
That's hilarious.
Sit down, Yaz.
But yeah. But
Eric, he looked like Yaz.
yeah. And I'll just tell I'll
if I
jump
swing
over
from the left
to
side, I'll look exactly
Yeah.
like yes.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
Come on,
But
kitty,
I'll,
kitty.
I'll
I hear
give you
you.
guys I'll give you guys the A ball because I went through
Yeah,
the
go
other
for
three. Yeah. A ball last week, Bryce Eldridge, easily player of the I mean between him and Hunter Bishop, those guys were the players of the week for all of the guys. I mean, he hit 3 home runs, and the only thing that kept him from hitting a fourth was a kind of a tall wall in right center field in Modesto, where he hit a ball that maybe got like 12, 15 feet off the bat or off the ground, 110 plus miles an hour. And it thumped the top of the wall. So he had a huge week. So
Awesome.
good to see him get going. Hopefully he gets moved up. But I saw a lot of people mentioning him. Jonah Cox on the season has probably been their best player. Only 22 years old. He's the guy they got for Stripling
Right.
in that deal, which, when they made the deal, I'm like, great, what throw-in guy did we get here? But, who cares? You were just trying to off the money. But he can hit. And, I think he's clearly too good for A-ball. He's hitting 350 right now. He has 24 stolen bases.
He's in San Jose.
Yeah, and he's in San Jose.
Get him up to Eugene. All right, that's time.
Exactly.
22.
Get him up where he can get challenged a little bit.
Yeah, get
and
him
you
up
start
there.
figuring out what he is.
All right.
So
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Is there a day we're into 24 season? Is there a day in 2028 where your outfield is Ramos, Matos, and Bishop? Your first baseman is Bryce Eldridge. Your second baseman is I don't know. Somebody. Shortstop is Walker Martin. Third base is 29, 30-year-old Casey Schmidt. Your catcher is Patrick Bailey. Your first baseman, did I already say first base? Eldridge?
Mm-hmm.
Eldridge. And your DH is Marco Luciano.
I mean, that'd be like a dream because that means all those guys probably panned out into really good players.
What about Jung Hoo Lee?
Jung Hoo in 4 years might be gone, opting out, or
Maybe
he may, and I did want to ask you about Jung Hoo Lee. A lot of guys that have had shoulder surgery in the past have come back and have never been the same. or struggling. Manny Machado struggling this year. Big time. We saw Cody Bellinger struggle big time.
Michael Conforto struggled after his shoulder surgery.
But this is Jung Hoo Lee's second shoulder surgery on the same shoulder.
Try to say that 10 times fast.
Second shoulder surgery on the same shoulder. Second surgery on the shoulder, or whatever. Is this? I mean, we don't know his how limber his body is, how quickly he recovers. I mean, it looks like he recovered from the first shoulder surgery, right? I mean, I don't know when he had that. I think it was like 5 years ago, though. What are we laughing at? This comment?
Jung Hoo Lee may have his arm amputated by then. That's pretty good.
But
Nice.
is this?
Yeah.
But do you think a guy will come back next year? I mean, the fact that he got hurt in May of his first season in the big leagues really short circuits his development, because this is not only his major league development playing, but getting used to everybody, traveling to the whole league, all across the, different ballparks. Just now he's got to kind of start all over again. Does this set him back? And what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, it's certainly going to be a setback in the sense that I think most people that have kind of looked at the history of how guys that have come over from Korea have fared, even the ones that end up being pretty good players, they typically take a year to adjust to major league pitching and learn the league and learn the schedule and all that and the travel. And then they make a big jump in year two. And now it's not even just factoring in the injury. It's going to be, now he only got to play 40 games, maybe 35, 40 games.
Right.
So is he going to be going into next season trying to make still that initial rookie jump, and then before eventually improving? And then you look at the injury, and it's now one positive with him, his game's not really predicated on power. Like, he's not reliant on, we're not trying to get 15, 20 homers out of him. If he hits 10, we're thrilled. And even if he doesn't, if he can get on base and not strike out and do all the little things and play great defense, like, that's the stuff we care about for most people, for Lee. So I think he still could, take a jump next season. We'll see. I mean, he'd shown signs that he wasn't overmatched up here. There was some bad luck involved, but he also, he hits a lot of balls on the ground. He needs to get more line drives out of what he does.
Right. And he had a 60% ground ball rate in the KBO, right, Eric? 60?
Yeah, 60%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's high. That's high.
Yeah. And he's got, and this isn't Ichiro we're talking about that's going to leg out 40 or 50 infield hits on that rate. Like, he's got speed, but he's not like an elite speed guy. So
yeah,
it's just, yeah.
I might have to backtrack on my prediction he'd win a batting title now that he's hurt for the second time.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's,
yeah.
I mean, that's gonna.
He could. He puts it in play so much.
Yeah, he puts it in play, and if he can, Colorado would be a great place for him to play, because that's such a expansive ballpark. The one thing about Oracle, it's got it plays, it doesn't play as deep as some of the parks, even though it's a huge park, because everybody cheats to the triples alley.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, guys are giving up the right field line, man. I'd find guys in the Giants, man, that can actually hit the ball down the right field line. Get some guys that just,
Luciano.
Yeah, we saw that last week off the wall.
Last week. Matos will use the whole field.
Yeah.
Though since he's been up, it's been mostly, middle center. Ramos, he'll go oppo with balls, and hasn't quite gotten a hold of one yet this season to like really threaten it. But he showed in sack like a lot of his powers. Center field, right? Like he'll do it to all fields. So those are guys that use the whole field, which is nice to see. But
right.
yeah.
So let's close out here by taking a look at the scoreboard and the standings. It's always kind of fun to look at the scoreboard tonight. We look at the Orioles. I think they got swept.
Got swept.
Yep. First time they got swept by the Cardinals. The Cardinals are on a roll right now, guys. They're right on the Giants' tail, a half game behind them. Twins beat the Nationals. Mets lose to the Guardians. There's the second game. The makeup game was earlier today. It got postponed, or not postponed, but suspended yesterday. The Cardinals, Orioles, they finished that off this morning. Angels beat the Astros, but look at the Astros. They were how many games under 500 at one point? Like 12, 14?
There's a lot. Yeah, they're starting to play better.
Yeah, and they've lost a couple to the Angels, I think now. Royals are on a roll. Look at that.
Yes, they are.
Oops, what did I hit there? Okay. Marlins, man, cut that smoke, man. There they go. Padres beat the Reds. The Reds
Marlins had up.
Reds are flailing. Giants and Pirates, they're basically were tied tonight, and they may be tied again tomorrow after Paul Skeens, but Phillies continue to roll. Red Sox and Rays, they're close to one another. Yankees are rolling. Blue Jays, still early. White Sox, they suck. Braves on the board, get the win. The Rockies end up beating the A's in 12. Wow. A's have fallen apart. They were 17-17 at one point. Now they're 3-14 in their last 17.
Oh, look at the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, look at the D-backs shutting out.
They're starting to play better.
The Dodgers, they're tied with the Giants. So we look at the standings here, and we see in the American League the Yankees up by 3 over the Orioles, Guardians and Royals
neck and neck.
Neck and neck there. Twins. I think that's going to be probably a 3-team race there. I think the Twins get back in a little bit. The wild west of the American League, you got 3 teams there that can – it's going to come down to the Mariners, Rangers, Astros, just like it did last year in the last week of the season.
That was exciting, yeah.
East, it's a 2-team race, and the rest will be lucky to fight for a 3rd spot in the wild card. Brewers, Cubs, I think the Cardinals are starting to show themselves. I think the Cardinals can hang in there for that 3rd wild card. I think the Reds get going. They're not hitting well this year, and they're in a gauntlet of a schedule. Once they finish this series, they got the Dodgers again.
Oh gosh.
Dodgers obviously will run away and win the National League West by 15 games or more, I'm predicting. It's a 3-legged race there for one of those wild card spots. I believe one is definitely going to the Phillies or Braves. The other looks like it may go to the Cubs or Brewers, but it's still early. They could fade. But I think you're going to have a fight for the 2 wild card spots are going to be fighting between the Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds. I think all 4 of those will contend for one of those spots, and the Padres, Diamondbacks, and Giants. So that's 7 teams and possibly one of the Nationals or Mets. But I think you're going to have 7 teams fighting for 2 spots. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's early, but a lot will happen. Trades, injuries will make a big difference.
Yes. This is where Farhan has failed, though, right? In the trade category.
He's going to have to be aggressive because
last year, boy.
What happens here, what I don't like about this, but it makes a lot of teams feel like they're contenders. But we saw the Diamondbacks actually get there, so anything's possible. But when you have like all these teams bunched together in mid-July, you got so many more teams that are fighting for it in it that are going to be open to trade. And that's where I think the Giants get the short end, because I don't think Farhan's aggressive enough to beat
Correct.
out some of those other GMs
Right.
that will make the moves.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's never been a guy that just jumps in. He waits and waits and waits. And
Chris Bryant was down to the damn last minute in 21.
Yeah.
Even with that magical season of 21, he waited to the very last minute before he could even pull the trigger.
Exactly. Well, guys, final word. What do you got, Cody?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with what you said. It's going to come down to a lot of teams. You know, with that third wild card spot, you have, it just makes it to where there's going to be less teams that are sellers, in for starters, and it keeps more teams in it longer. And that's part of why I think it's the right thing to just embrace the kids right now. You're going to stay in it because the NL is terrible, and there's going to be a chance that you might miss the playoffs, but if you can establish those guys, then that's, to me, the most important thing, because you can go into next season with a big, a core that you feel great about. And again, I still think it's not punting the season. It's not throwing it away. You're still going to compete, especially with the pitching you have, and you have some good, solid veterans currently on the team. Whether or not they actually live up to what they should do, we'll see. But
it's going to pay dividends playing those kids for next year and the in the future. Absolutely. Go ahead, Cody.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, if you happen to get lucky and all these guys establish themselves, and you can go into next season knowing, we have a core of Ramos, Matos, Luciano, Bailey, and then we'll see about Lee, how he's doing. And then you feel like with the pitching, you're like, we got Webb, we have Harrison, and maybe another one of these young pitchers establishes himself on top of like the veterans. And then you even in the bullpen, you've got guys like, you have Doval, you have Randy Rodriguez, Eric Miller's look good at times. Sean Jelly, who I probably jinxed today because I made a video talking about how great he's been, and he serves up a great. I mean, it was an awful situation to put the guy in. I mean, you put him in bases loaded, and he has to throw it, get it in. It was just the worst
tough.
That was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I still, it doesn't make me think worse of the guy, but I had to own up on that one, because I was like, I wanted this guy DFA'd 3 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he's throwing the ball great. And
he's been looking really good. I've been pleasantly surprised with Jelly. I don't know.
Me too.
The way he's throwing that fastball, he's keeping it down in the zone. I like that. And he's got a nasty is it a slider or a curveball?
Well, he has the knuckle curve that he throws.
That's what it is, the knuckle curve then.
And now he throws the cutter on lefties, which has been super successful. He's completely dumped his changeup this season, I've noticed.
Okay.
So I mean, he's throwing the ball great.
Can play, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. He has good stuff. I mean, he's touched 97 with the sinker on occasion, and it's usually in like the mid 90s. I think it's averaging around 95 right now. And I mean, it's a young core to build around, and more guys that hopefully are on the way. But like, that's, to me, that's most important, is get that young core and show that there's a future with this team.
Exactly.
And
Going up tomorrow's
year thing.
You know what I think the Giants should just do tomorrow? Keep the bat on their shoulder and and get to the bullpen. Just let Paul Skeens keep throwing 100. Just don't even swing the damn bat, because you ain't catching up to that damn thing.
All three of his pitches.
He gets out of the game by the 5th or 6th inning, then do your damage. Because right now, I don't know what the success is going to be against Paul Skeens, to be honest with you.
He's got like a 92-mile-an-hour slider, and his splitter is like 95. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Just keep the bat under. Like I said, if you get a walk, win. That's a win. But get him out of that game, because he's probably going to only go maybe 6 innings, maybe.
Well, it depends on how many pitches he's throwing. Yeah. I mean, if they're just taking 1, 2, 3 right down the middle, Eric, you take your approach.
Well, then, exactly. My plan sucks. But you're not going to have a chance anyways, right? I mean, come on.
He was painting guys in Chicago last week. He was.
Look. I mean, you don't think it looks like they'll have a shot, but Nolan Ryan how many games did Nolan Ryan lose in his career, right?
Yeah, he lost. Yep.
I mean, it can happen. I mean, you just need one or two runs. You need, I mean, look, there's guys that can hit fastballs, okay? There's guys that 99 to 100 mile an hour fastball is nothing for some of these fastball hitters.
Which giant can do that?
Chapman, right now, Chapman can hit it if it's in his right, in the right spot. I would say if
Matos
Yaz can hit it if it's in the right spot. Wade can hit a fastball.
If you put it out over the plate, Luciano will put it in right field.
Yeah.
Watching him play, like, he will. If you leave it up, especially if you put it kind of up in the zone and out over the plate, he hits a lot of line drives into right, and he'll play line to gap, and he'll hit it hard. So cool. There's the cat for everyone.
Yeah, there we go. So hey, there it is. Hey, it's a tuxedo. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, there's the cat. All right.
Yep.
We got to get the stand.
Join the party.
Hold on. Let's see the cat better.
Yeah, we got two cats that look like that. The tuxedo. Yeah. That's awesome. What's the name?
Go. His name is Draco.
Draco. All right.
Yeah.
Draco. Oh,
that's from.
It's not Lucy, or like, is it a male?
It's a male. Yeah.
Harry Potter.
How about Matos.
Might have to rename him if Matos keeps hitting like this.
Hey, yeah. If I get another dog, it's not going to be named Chappie, okay, guys? I'm not naming my dog Chappie.
What about Jorge?
No, it won't be Jorge. What
do you got against the Jorge?
Nothing against George, okay? Nothing against George. All right, so we get some guys asking for our player of the game. Let's end it with that. Who we kind of did our stars of the game. Give us your one player of the game. I'll start with. We'll go counterclockwise. Cody first, then Eric, then me.
I mean, I could cheat and say Lamont Wade Jr., but. No, just for Dan, I'm going to say Matt Chapman today.
There you are. There it is.
A home run, a lot of good big defensive plays. I think that's the one that gets overlooked by a lot. Is just the defense was phenomenal from him. Not just the play on Bart, but he made a few that saved runs and killed rallies earlier in the game. So even with the 2 RBI, homer to kind of drag them back into the game too. So I won't take the cop out and choose Wade.
All right. So let Eric do that. Eric,
all
what
right.
do you got?
I am going to go, and I said it earlier, he stopped the hemorrhaging and prevented the runs coming across the plate for the Pirates, and that's Randy Rodriguez. He came in and he stopped it. They scored no more. After the Pirates had scored those 5 runs, they never scored another run after that. And a large part of that was to the 2 innings of Randy Rodriguez. So that's my player of the game.
All right. My player of the game is Luis Wade.
Look at that. He's trying to pick 2 guys.
Okay. All right. One guy, forget it. All right, you guys, if I got to pick one, Lamont Matos.
Oh, man.
Come on. Who am I going to go with? No one, you guys, you threw it off, man. You threw Rodriguez in there, but
I should have left Chapman for you.
I could go several places. I have 3 choices now. I got Wade, I got Matos, and I got Patrick Bailey because he came back from a concussion and got 3 hits and really was
good behind the plate.
Yeah.
He saved Snell a bunch of times.
I am going to go with it's really, really hard to not pick a guy who got on base 6 times and knocked in the tying run. So I'm going to go with Wade, but I want to go with Matos because he's probably my favorite Giant player. In fact, if In fact, let's see. Let's see if my sidekick knows where I'm going. Luis Matos, he's such a great guy and a friend of our show.
Hey, this is Luis Matos.
Where's the other one? Do we have the other one?
What other one? That's a long one. That's like
Is that the only one we have? Don't we have
Yeah.
the other one that's we should listen to Larry, Dan, and
no, I don't think.
we don't have that
No.
one in there?
No, we don't have that
Okay.
one in there.
All right. We should play his interview sometime.
Wait a second. Real quick. Are you talking about the kids? Let's
we
go.
Eric, I enjoy it all the way up until that point.
Oh man.
Makes me
Come on,
just
you
make,
got to be excited, right? know
I
you're
forget
excited.
I forget the excitement's coming and it just like it's like jumps
Just-
right,
yeah,
right out of my seat.
Woo!
Okay.
What's up, Stephen Dre? Thanks for joining the show. I appreciate that. He new guy in the chat says, nice to see a new. We've been here for a little while, but hey, we appreciate you coming in the chat and saying something. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The kids are the only reason there's life in this club, and it's
It is.
the only reason I'm enjoying watching the games at this point.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you
Agreed.
what, if Luciano, Matos, and Ramos are not here, I'm probably not tuned into every, at bat. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I like watching those guys come to the bat, to plate. I don't know what it is, but there's something about having your own guys that were brought up in the system and are young and are good kids. I don't know. I'm pretty I don't know what it is. I'm just partial to the international players.
Yeah.
I like the kids that come up at 16, 17 and work their way through the system and finally make it up. And doggone it, we got that milk dud running the club. Just please, Giants, if Farhan does anything to screw this up, would you just please just get rid of him and get a guy that believes in these guys? He didn't believe in him. In fact, when they lost a game earlier in when they first came up, the excuse was we've got these young guys and we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got growing pains and we're gonna have to deal with it. What's their record since these young kids came up?
Pretty good. I know that. I don't know.
They went 1-2 against the Dodgers. They won 3 in a row against. So they were 4-2 at home with them.
Since they all
So
played,
5-3, right?
I mean, because then they all started playing in the second game of the Cincinnati series. Well, actually, Luciano didn't even play. But I mean, if you want to just do Ramos and Matos playing,
Yeah,
I mean, they're what they swept
3, 5,
7,
6,
what,
and
like
3.
7-3.
6-3 now with this road. 7-4.
Yeah,
7
they're
and
competitive.
4.
Like that's
There you go.
they're a good. They're playing solid baseball.
What and what did Cody say? What did Eric say? What did I say? What did Los say? What did Boris say? Everybody that's been affiliated with NorCal Sports Network has said that these kids, it's not throwing in the towel or waving the white flag, bringing these kids up, as some of the people in the chat said, or people say, oh, you bring the kids up, you're just giving up on the season. No, you're actually giving chance. You're giving yourself a chance to be competitive. And I went as far as said, when they bring the kids up in mass from Sacramento, they will start to score runs.
Yeah,
I actually said that.
Yeah, you said that.
I put a tweet out on that. And you know what? I'll pat myself right there for getting one right.
Don't hurt that
because,
shoulder. Don't
you
hurt
know,
that shoulder.
I didn't do it too hard. No,
Do the victory lap.
I'm gonna take that one because I took a lot of crap.
You did.
I took a lot of crap on Twitter when I said that.
Yep.
You know, I would go as far as to say that it raises the potential ceiling of the club, just because you know what you're going to get with the vets. I mean, with the kids, you never know. They could end up being you could have a special player on your hands, and if you don't play him, you're never going to find out.
Exactly. And I may have to add Randy Rodriguez in that movie.
Why did I call? Why did I call Farhan a milk dud? Because he's bald and he looks like a milk dud. That's why.
You can call him an egg.
It's a milk dud shaped head. That's all. No big deal. So do I. Okay, I'm a milk dud, but I'm, whatever.
This is easily the most exciting the Giants have been since the end of 2021.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It raises the ceiling. I said their record would be, I can't even remember. Did I say 83 and 79 in our prediction?
I can't remember.
Sometime. And I said, but I think they missed the playoffs. I did not have him making the playoffs. Los had him, maybe I said 79. I don't remember. We'll have to go back. Los had him above 500, but the caveat was only if they bring up the young guys, Ramos, Matos, Luciano. If they don't bring these guys up, he said they're an under 500 team. I think he nailed it because we saw where this team was going without these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, somehow people think that, just don't give Farhan the credit because please. Anyway, that's all I've got tonight.
Real quick before we get out of here, everyone, make sure you go check out Cody's YouTube Even Year Dynasty Show. He put out a video yesterday talking about the Giants minor leagues, and today he put out a video on Sean Jelly. So yeah, go check it out. He's got great content. He joins us every Wednesday. When we give him a chance to talk, he will be on here. Sorry about that, Cody. Which we tend to drag on.
No, you guys are good.
We got some good stuff. We did. But Even Year Dynasty Show, does that mean that this is the year they take it all?
Maybe it would be nice.
Hey,
they find a way to pull it out.
You know what? It's not out of the realm with their pitching staff, and if they keep these young guys up with the nice mix of vets. I like the mix of vets they got right now. You got Chapman at third.
Who's playing? Who's long? Yes.
You got Estrada, and you're gonna have Conforto.
And Conforto. You gotta have one. I think you gotta have one of those guys in the outfit, right? Conforto.
Yeah, when Conforto comes back, that's a good lefty bat that's got pop. He's at his best. He's a legitimate middle of the order bat.
Yeah, I
like
definitely.
5.
He's a 3 to 5 guy, right in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need that, and especially you can flip flop him and Chapman or whatever. You can. Melvin has options and how he moves the lineup around. I like getting guys like Ramos up a little bit and getting these guys, moving Matos up to 2, moving Ramos to 5, and trying to spread out the vets a little bit because I want them to have protection behind the kids. I mean, as much as last week they had their moments where the kids strung hits together or produce runs where they had them all lined up at the bottom, Sable included. And I just don't think that's sustainable to rely on them to be producing in a row. So I would personally like to see them get more protection for them, but yeah, that's just my personal preference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow morning game, 9:35. So less than 11 hours from now is the first pitch. And
you want to go out tomorrow night again?
Yeah, I don't want to do in the middle of the day, so I got to work. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow about 8 to 8:15, right in there. And
It's
yeah,
gonna be
and then it's off to New York.
Yep.
So yeah. So guys, have a great one. Thanks to Cody from Even Year Dynasty Show. And again, go check out his content, subscribe to it, get his subs up, and let's tell your friends, family about us. We're pushing 1,900, I believe, Eric, right?
pushing. How about
2,000.
pushing 2,000? We're getting there.
Are we pushing 2,000? Okay, let's get us to 2,000, guys. We'd love
We're
to
getting
get
close.
We'd love to get to, like, if we can get to like double our numbers before the end of the season, would be awesome.
Honestly, Dan, we're kind of guilty of that. We do that enough where, guys, like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Appreciate that.
Like and
Appreciate the
subscribe.
support.
Do it.
Yeah, like and subscribe, guys. If I haven't said it before, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Just subliminally put that in your head. So, hey, for Drago, right? Drago? Is that it?
Draco.
Drago. I like Drago. Avant
Yeah.
Drago from which Rocky was that? Number 2?
4.
4? Yeah.
4. Okay.
I must break you.
Yeah. There we go.
He dies.
Von
he dies.
Drago. But it's not
dies.
Drago, it's Drago.
That's Drago, not Draco.
Drago.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Draco.
Draco.
Yeah,
Draco.
Draco.
Is it Draco or Draco? Or Draco?
Draco.
Draco.
Yeah.
Is
You're
that
getting
after
confused with Drago.
It's
He's
not
still a kitten, so he he doesn't know
It's-
how to give
it's-
it a rest yet.
It's not after
He just-
Drake the rapper?
Come on, holy smokes, it's
No.
4.
Okay.
4, man. 4.
For what?
That's what Drago was in.
Yeah.
4.
Oh yeah, 4.
Rocky 3 had Mr. T.
Los is calling an upset alert. Giants 5, Pirates 4. He was right tonight. He said the Giants would win. I did
5-3.
not think they would win tonight.
I didn't think they were going to.
Yeah. I didn't trust Snell. I was right on that, but I didn't see them coming back. Hey, when's the last time the Giants came back, by the way, from a 5-0 deficit?
Oh, yeah. I don't, not this is the first
I mean,
time this
without it wouldn't have happened without these kids.
No. Correct.
I mean, Matos, they didn't drive any runs in tonight, but he did get the big 2-out single, stretched it into to second base with the error again. That was that not was that the play of the game, or was it Chapman's last out of the game? Which was more the play of the game in your guys' mind? Or
I think
maybe
the most
something else?
important play was Matos taking the extra bag.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's why I was
Matos
talking earlier. I
is-
mean, what are the odds of getting 3 straight hits? And he made it to where they only needed 1.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That was amazing, man. That was amazing. That's a big win for him tonight, guys. Don't underestimate this win, because they lost tonight after losing the way they lost last night. It could spiral. It could really
Absolutely.
spiral.
Yep. And you know what?
So-
I'll pay homage to Senior, his son. Remember his son? What is the armband that he always gives baseball players when he goes to a game? What's it say on the little wristband thing?
I am not sure.
It says grind. And that's something that the Giants did today. They grinded it out, and they were able to get those runs across to win the game. It was awesome.
Grind. Very
Grind it.
good.
Grind.
What was that?
Grind.
All right. Before this show gets any further out of hand,
No, it's not even close to being out of hand.
we're going to close it with the kids again, and that will be our close. That's going to be our close right now. Push those kids. Everybody, for Cody, for Draco, and for Eric, Dan saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow night, roughly 8, anywhere between 8 and 8:30, but probably closer to 8.
Sounds good. See you guys tomorrow night. Woo! Planet Fans!